Instagram feed up. And there we go. I am Coach James. I'm the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics, which is a science program that uses Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through first grade students about a range of science and physics related topics, including but not limited to friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, elastic force, a whole range of topics. After we have covered all of the science topics and we've conducted experiments to drive home those ideas and concepts, then and only then do I introduce about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the class. Once they have selected their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured. All of the information that they can observe, they enter into a spreadsheet. After they do that, the only thing left to do is race the cars. So, they build a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip and race the cars. They observe how their cars performed. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on everything that they have learned in the class? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, all you have to do is go to our website, aerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, also aerodynamics. And all the information you need to contact me is in the bio, and we can discuss how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics Presents Wind Tunnel Wednesday. So on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, what we do is we bring out the 1/64th scale wind tunnel, otherwise known as the Windsible by Funtech Labs, and we put Hot Wheels, Matchbox, and sometimes some other brands of cars into the wind tunnel, turn it on, see how the air flows over, under, and around those cars, and we get an idea about how much drag is going to impact these cars when they are racing on the track. Well, when do they race on the track? Every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific. Might not be in the morning where you are, but every Saturday morning here, 11 a.m. Pacific, AtTheTrack.live on YouTube and Twitch. We introduce new cars into our fleet, and I grab those out of storage, crack them open, take a picture, get a video, introduce those cars, and then we also have an opportunity for you to participate. All you have to do is go to the website listed at the bottom of the screen, AtTheTrack.live. When you do that, you're going to have 3 options. One's the YouTube stream link, one's the Twitch stream link. The third option is the most important link. That is the link that says choose your car. If you select that option, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, a series of pages actually now. It used to just be one page. Now it's a series of pages. You will see all the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics AtTheTrack.live fleet, which includes cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, some cars that were just released in the last few weeks, and all of those cars are listed. There's a picture, they're numbered, and all you have to do is find the car that you think would be faster than the cars that I introduce on Saturday and that other viewers have picked, and take the number of that car, drop it in the chat, and I will pull that car. And just like that, you will be entered into the tournament. If you pick a car today, what you'll be doing is picking a car to check out in the wind tunnel. And putting a car in the wind tunnel before you settle on that car to represent you in the races is a pretty good idea, because there's only so many opportunities you're going to have to select the car. And if you pick the wrong car, well, then you're going to have to wait a week to go again. So you really want to try and make the best choice possible. And putting the cars in the wind tunnel really is a good idea, because you do get a chance to see how drag is going to impact the car. And drag is absolutely the most significant force that is impacting these cars as they race on our track. We have a flat drag track, so it is unlike a gravity track, and that the cars are just traveling a straight line right down the track, and there's no elevation. The track starts and ends at the same height. So all of that, the considerations that you would make for picking a car on a gravity track go out the window on our track. And the first thing you want to consider is the car that I'm picking going to be able to minimize the impact of drag? And there's certain things that we've observed and that we've noticed over the weeks and years that we've been racing these cars. There are certain types of cars that tend to do better, but we do get surprised from time to time. However, all you have to do is just find the car that you think is going to take the race, and we'll put it in the wind tunnel. You can make your decision. So, for example, if you decide that this 73 Ford Falcon XB is your car, you can click on it, take a look, and see what it's made of. This one looks to be metal on metal. You can see from the reflection, I'd be surprised if it was metal on metal, because we don't get too many of those cars these days. It's usually either a metal body on a plastic base or a plastic body on a metal base. It used to be the case, but not so much anymore, that we get metal on metal cars. This one just may be. But the thing that I'm noticing in this picture about this car is that it has faster than ever wheels. And those wheels, Hot Wheels has a lot of different gimmicks that they, marketing things that they put on the packages. But faster than ever wheels are a type of wheels and axle combination that they made where the axle is nickel plated. And because the axle is nickel plated, there's less friction. So when the wheels are spinning, there's less friction. They're able to spin a little more freely. And when we're talking about racing the cars, it helps the cars keep the speed up. So there is that. So if this is the car that you want to see in the wind tunnel that you think could take the races, all you have to do is take that number 439, drop it in the chat. I will pull that and we will put it into the wind tunnel. But right now, the car that is our fastest car, our champion, is the car that you would be trying to beat. So anyone who picks a car, all the cars that I bring in, that I introduce from, that I bring in from storage, all of those cars are going to be trying to knock out this car, the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder is the fastest Hot Wheels car in our fleet. It is a 4-time fastest in fleet champion, and it has rarely been challenged on our track. The funny part is it doesn't get challenged very often in terms of having close races, but when it does get challenged, it usually gets beaten. Cars are either getting smashed by the BlitzSpeeder and just knocked out completely, or the BlitzSpeeder is losing. That's happened on 3 different occasions that we've had cars beat the BlitzSpeeder. But for the most part, the BlitzSpeeder is pretty dominant on our track. And it's not something specific to this particular BlitzSpeeder, because we've had other BlitzSpeeders. There's a new one, or another version out in stores now, a couple of versions. Same car, just different paint and paint schemes and all of that. But we've put different BlitzSpeeders on the track and they all perform the same. So it comes down to the design of the car, and that is the thing that's important. So the BlitzSpeeder is always our fastest in fleet champion car is always the first one to go into the wind tunnel every week. And because it's the BlitzSpeeder is going in first, and we're going to be able to see exactly why this car is our fastest in fleet champion and what makes it so special and unique. And I'm going to try and get it situated in here so that it doesn't roll forward, but I may have to. We'll see if it stays in place. Hopefully it does. But the BlitzSpeeder is unique. I'm gonna have to throw the magnet in there. So I have this, prevents what we just saw from happening, which is the car moving and rolling forward just a bit. Some of these cars tend to do that. And now we've got it all lined up. The BlitzSpeeder is ready to go. And we'll see this Windsible, the wind tunnel. It gets a little temperamental from time to time. Sometimes it doesn't cooperate as it should, but we'll see what happens as we start off where we always do it. Our cruising speed, a modest, moderate 67 miles per hour. And you can get a sense and see how the air is flowing over the top of the BlitzSpeeder, and we're going to turn that speed up. And as we turn that speed up, what we're looking at and what's so special about the BlitzSpeeder is the way that the air, especially really pay attention to this second stream, comes in, hits the car, and just flows along the body of the car. It doesn't detach. It just flows, the air, it flows right along the body of the car. And that is what you want to see out of a car in the wind tunnel. And we're going to turn this up. Right now we're at 94 miles per hour. We're going to turn this up. And you really get a better sense of this when the car is sitting flat and I don't have the, and it's not sitting on top of the magnet. But since it wasn't staying in place, I just threw the magnet in there. So still, what we're seeing is this airflow not detaching. It's just following right along the lines of the body of the car. And the BlitzSpeeder is unique because when we put some of these other cars in there, usually we'll see the airflow right around the roof line break away from following the body of the car. And when that happens, you're getting turbulent air, and you essentially create like a vacuum effect because you have higher pressure at the front, and then when the air starts to break away, you get lower pressure, and essentially there's a pressure force because the air is trying to move from the area of high pressure to the area of low pressure. But that's going against the forward momentum of the car, and so that works, in essence, to slow the car down. Not what you want to have happen. So we're going to push this up. It's at 121 miles per hour, going up to 134. And you still see the same thing. That air comes in. If we'd had this car dropped a little lower, you would see the air really hitting right at the nose, coming up over the hood, up to the windshield, the roof line, and then you'd see what we're seeing here, which is the airflow following along the roof line and then right to the back of the car. Now, something unique to the BlitzSpeeder is the car doesn't have a drop off from the back of the roof line down to the body of the car, which is what you'll see on most cars that we put in, unless they're fantasy cars, but most cars that are based around normal, regular cars, you will see a drop off in the design between the top of the roof line and then the back of the car. The BlitzSpeeder doesn't have that, which kind of allows the air to just follow along the body, and then tail off right here after it comes off of this giant wing at the back. And that is pretty much ideal. So the BlitzSpeeder is able to minimize the impact of drag on the track. We're going to push this up to 161 miles per hour. The BlitzSpeeder is able to minimize the impact of drag on the track, and that helps it maintain more of its speed. By maintaining more of its speed, it's able to win more races. It's pretty simple and pretty interesting thing that we have observed. And there's friction is a force that's impacting these cars, and then gravity, of course. But the BlitzSpeeder just has that right combination. But clearly, from what we've seen in the races we've conducted, is that the ability to reduce the impact of drag is the BlitzSpeeder's biggest biggest thing going for it. And you do see turbulent air around the bottom and coming up as it comes up from underneath the car to the back. But that I tend to ignore a bit. I ignore it particularly when we have the car sitting on the magnet, because any air that's flowing underneath the car is going to interact with that magnet, and that's going to change the airflow pattern. So really, and most of these cars, almost all of these cars, are flat on the bottom. So because the cars are flat on the bottom, they're all more or less similar in that regard. It's up top. It's the design on the top side that is really going to be the part that sets one car apart from another. So we have the BlitzSpeeder, and we had an interesting car that was introduced. So let's bring this down. The BlitzSpeeder. So with the BlitzSpeeder, we know what the aerodynamic profile is. We had another fantasy car, this one, the Lightnin Bug, that it did well. It raced on Saturday, and if you want to see how any of these cars performed, you just go to our YouTube channel and click the live tab, and you will see the episode there, and it has time codes and everything, so you can just jump to whichever part of the episode you want to see. And looking at this, the Lightnin Bug was interesting because it's got kind of a bigger frontal area, bigger than we would kind of normally see, but bigger than we would see on most fantasy cars, I would say. But the interesting part is right here. It's got this opening. So the windows, where the windows would be, the side windows, it's sealed up and closed. The front windshield area is also sealed. So that's actually pretty good because it allows the air won't get trapped inside the cabin, but will it or won't it? Because the sides are open. So any air that flows in there, where is it coming out? And that's the thing with some of these cars, the design, you'll have the air enter, but then if there's nowhere for the air to enter out, then there's kind of a pocket where that air is going to get trapped, and it's going to slow down the car. And now with this one, it does look like there are some openings right here where the tail lights would be, and that could possibly be a point for the air to escape, but it's not clear that that is what would happen. And also, the back window right there is also open. So any air that enters in here could, in theory, sort of escape out around the rear wheel or come out through this back area. But I don't know how much, because the openings are pretty small, how much that would impact the car. But we are going to put this one into the wind tunnel and take a look. We saw it race on Saturday, and since it was freshly out of the pack, we haven't had a chance to see it in the wind tunnel. So let's go ahead and take a look, see if it will stay in place. If it will, then we can just look at it there. And with a lot of these cars, you can look at the profile, which is what I like about the Windsible. Look at that profile, and we can already kind of take a guess about what it is that we're going to see out of this car. I think that air is going to build up in the front, and let's see. So we're starting off at our cruising speed of 67 miles per hour, and That air, you can kind of see that it is building up in the front. The air comes in, hits that big front grill, and then has to go over, under, around. And the air that's going over is doing so, but let's push this up to 107 miles per hour. And the reason why we crank the speeds up, other than the fact that it gives a clearer picture of the aerodynamic profile of the car, and here goes the Windsible. Being temperamental, every once in a while it just decides to shut off in the middle of being on, but we are not done looking at the Lightnin Bug, so we're going to fire it up again, back to 107 miles per hour. And the reason why the speed is important is because drag increases with speed, and it is why hypercars, supercars, cars designed to go extremely fast, they have to be concerned with downforce to keep the wheels on the road, but then also aerodynamics to reduce the impact of drag and help the car clock those record speeds. So I'm looking kind of at this area because I'm trying to see if the air is flowing out through that air that's come into the sides is flowing out that back window, or if what I'm seeing is just the sort of remnants of the air flowing around the sides. But we're at 121 miles per hour. Let's turn this up. Pushing this up to 147 miles per hour. And the aerodynamic profile, I mean, it's pretty good. We're not seeing tremendous separation. There is some separation like right here at the back, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst we've seen. We've seen much worse. And you can see the air is just, it's flowing up over the hood, right to the windshield, to the roof line, and then it does get a little more turbulent here as it kind of breaks away from the hood, but it's still more or less following the line of the car, which is kind of sloping down right back here. So this isn't too bad. Not too bad at all. Now I am curious about the air entering in the sides, because right now with the wind tunnel, and I can lift this up and show you, the air is only being directed right over the top of the car. So whatever impact that those openings on the side have or may have or could have, we don't really know, because I need to move the car over, which I'm about to do. So this is at 161 miles per hour. Turn this thing down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the car over so that we can possibly see what happens when the air impacts the side of the car. So we're going to have the air, so it's going to flow over the left fender, and then we'll see if we can try and direct some into that opening just to get a sense for what would happen if that, what happens when the air flows past that area. So let's go ahead and lock this down and turn it up. See what we get. Okay, so right now, when I have, I'll show you up top, So I have moved kind of the line, and you can see that when I move the car off, now the air is hitting the corner, the front corner, and then it's tailing off. It's not following the lines of the body of the car at all. It's just breaking off completely. And I can't really see if the air is going into that opening, but we definitely know that it is very turbulent air that is coming off of this truck or this car. And it's at 121. Let's go ahead and turn it up to 147 miles per hour. And we're really just seeing that on the sides of the car, the air is not following along the lines of the body. And what I was talking about earlier with pressure drag and changes in pressure, there's definitely lower pressure in the areas when the airflow breaks away from following the lines of the body of the car. And take a look up top again. And you can see it. You can see it right there. So that is definitely not, it's not ideal, but we're also not getting a lot of information about what is happening with that car on the side panels where it has that opening. But if air is getting in there, it's open, so air, especially on our track, moving at the speeds these cars move, air is going to get in there. But then what happens after it is in there and trapped in that area? We just don't have the we don't have the ability to see exactly what's happening, but we can kind of speculate to an extent because we did see the car race, and we know how it performed on the track. So sometimes that's what we do. We have to take the cars, look at their performance on the track, and then we bring them over to the wind tunnel. In other cases, we put cars in the wind tunnel first, then we see what they do on the track, and we see how those kind of things, both those things line up. Another car that we put on the track is on Saturday is this one. This is the Volkswagen ID Buzz Bomb. It is a different version of the ID Buzz, which is this one. So the yellow one is the ID Buzz, the one that's more or less representative of the actual car. And then we get the Buzz Bomb, which is the one on the left that definitely has, it's like a sporty remix version of the ID Buzz. And it's got the surfboards on the top. It's got the little colorful graphic right there on the side. And it's got a different set of wheels. But the most important thing, the most significant difference between these two are the materials. Hey, Christopher. The materials. So the regular ID Buzz, this whole smoked gray top part is all plastic. And then there is a metal base. All of the yellow, white and yellow part is metal. On the Buzz Bomb, the white part is metal, so the upper part is metal. All of this plum colored part at the bottom is plastic. And there was a significant difference in the weights of these cars because we raced them both. And the ID Buzz, the regular version, weighs in at 41.3 grams. And then the Buzz Bomb weighs in at 33.2. So there is an 8-gram difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, but on our track, an 8-gram disparity is pretty significant, and especially for two vehicles that are more or less the same, just with different materials being used. So we're going to put the buzz bomb into the wind tunnel. We've already had the ID buzz in there, but the buzz bomb's going to go in, and this is not expected to be one of our most aerodynamically sound vehicles, but it is important that we take a look at all of these cars, and in particular cars that are more likely to be seen out on the road. And that is one of the things. But when people buy these, they aren't buying them so much for the aerodynamics, because they're not intended to be driven fast. However, when you do have an EV, an electric vehicle, it is important that it does have pretty good aerodynamics, because that is going to extend the life of your battery, or the range on your charge. If you've got poor aerodynamics, and the vehicle has to use more energy to push the car forward at whatever speed you're trying to go, then you're going to be more likely to start draining that battery. But with this one, we're seeing a rough shot. The air, as we expected, building up in the front, and this is only at 67 miles per hour, which, if you have an ID buzz, which I like them. I know that people complained about the range, and my big thing is the price. The price is just wild, but because the range and the price combination didn't really make this all that a bestseller, at least in the U.S., the prices are coming down, and Volkswagen's still trying to hang on, but they're already knocking the price down, and eventually there'll be some used ones, and they'll be out there. So who knows? I might get one, get that orange one, get a wrap on it, get an All About Aerodynamics wrap on it, and who knows. But as for now, I've just got the Hot Wheels versions, and looking at these, you can just see that air is just building up in the front, because it's got a big front area between the windshield and just the grill. And that air is coming up over the top, and then it's got the surfboards. Now, once it gets to the roof line, not bad. And then it tails off, and to expected turbulence, we're going to push this up to 134 miles per hour. And in the battle of the buzzes, it was the lighter version, the buzz bomb, that came out on top, which again it's to be expected. If you have two cars that are identical, except one weighs more and one weighs less, and they're getting the exact same amount of force when they are shot out of the launcher, then Isaac Newton's second law of motion suggests that the lighter car should go farther, should go faster, and that is exactly what we saw. And the only time, not the only time, but when we haven't seen that has been when we had the two funny cars in there, and the heavier funny car actually beat the lighter funny car, and that had to do with the aerodynamics and the design. But looking at this one, we are going to push this up to 147 miles per hour, and the Windsible, it just does it. It just does that. It's like a little quirk. It will just turn off from time to time. But the good thing is, even though it turns off, it's been doing that for the whole time that I've had it. It usually turns right back on. So it's a little weird, but I've mentioned this before, that I was in the first group of people to support this support the Windsible project on Kickstarter. So we got ours first, and because we got ours first, we got some of the early versions, so I'm sure that they've worked out a bunch of things since then, but I'm sticking with this one because to buy a new one, I think they run like $250, and then they have the 1/18 scale version that is, I want to say it's like $500. So that's too rich. That's too rich for my pockets. So that is where that will stay. Plus, I don't have that many 1/18 scale cars, so it all works out anyway. All right, let's see. We had, turn this down. We had a few, I think we had about 3 of these cars that have the little best for track gimmick on it, the little marketing thing that Hot Wheels tends to do. And it's right here. It's this. We get this little best for track. Don't know what it means. There's track stars, best for track, all these different things. The only one we know means something is faster than ever. Best for track, don't know what it means. But one of the cars that we raced on Saturday was this one, the Hot Wheels 4 Trac, and it has the little best in track insignia there. Let me see if I can get it. Right there. And so they go to a point of putting that on there, but they don't say what it means. And it can't just mean that they can fit on the track, because all these cars, unless they're too wide, fit on the tracks, on the Hot Wheels tracks. They're suggesting, I just don't know. The wheels, there's nothing that they have in common. The wheel combinations are different. The shapes and styles are different. And so it's not really clear what best for track means. So we had 3 best for track cars this past Saturday, but this was one of them. And this is kind of an interesting car. I don't expect that we'll see all that much of note by putting it in the wind tunnel, just because of the shape. But we'll go ahead and throw it in there, take a look, and see what is what with this one, the Hot Wheels 4 Trac. And this is one that is so low that I should probably put it on the magnet to raise it up. But we'll see. We'll see what we see right here. Hot Wheels 4 Trac. And 67 miles per hour. A little cruising speed action right here. Turning this up. Turning it up even more. Turning it up higher. We're up to 121 miles per hour. And we're seeing, I guess, what we would expect to see out of a car like this, that the air is flowing up until it gets to that open driver's compartment, and then it starts to get a little more turbulent. So it comes up right across the top, and once it hits this back part, then we see the swirling air here, and there's really just not a lot that we can determine. We're seeing something interesting just right here. It's pretty faint, but the air that's coming over the top and kind of behind, closer to the car, between the wheel and the body, is just kind of popping out right about there. Let's see if I can move the camera a little bit. You kind of see it right there, just coming out. And it has to do with the fact that area is just open, right behind the wheel. Or between the wheel and the body, rather. So you've got the Hot Wheels 4 Trac. Push this up to 161 miles per hour, and we're still seeing a lot of the same things. Now, another car that we had, is a faster than ever car, so I wind this down, was the 60, I think it was a 69, yeah, the 69 COPO Camaro, which I'll just swap out and throw in here. And this one should be a little more interesting in the wind tunnel because it is a more traditional car. And get it lined up. So I think this should be interesting. This one did pretty well on the track. And let's go ahead and run this, and then I am going to go and grab Christopher and Roughshod's cars. Oh, see, there you go. It did it again. It just shuts off. And the Windsible people haven't. They're pretty responsive. I'll give them credit. They are pretty responsive by email, but they haven't. They never gave me any. Everything else that I've contacted them about, they usually give me a tip or some information to work it out. But with this, they didn't have no response. Or no solution, rather. All right, let's push this up to 121 miles per hour. And that air is coming up over the hood. You're seeing that first airstream is hitting right at the bumper, right at the grill, and then some of the air is coming up over the hood, and then up that windshield, and then down the back. And it's still not, it's breaking away from the body, but not in an extreme way. Let's go ahead and push this up to 134. Now we're seeing a little more separation as it comes away from the back of the roof line. And we see that turbulent air. In addition, the windows are down on this car. Looks like it, yeah. And I can see little bits of air like coming that have gone into that cabin trying to come out. It's a little tough to get the angle. That part, it is very faint. That part is very, very faint, so you might not see it. All right, I'm going to go and grab Christopher and Roughshod's cars. We can take a look at those, and I'll be right back. All right, let's wind this down. And take a look at the first car that Christopher's considering, which is interesting. These are definitely two extremely different cars. First one is this one. It is the Grand National. All I ever wanted was a Grand National. We have the Grand National with the faster than ever wheels. So we talked about that earlier, and this is one that has the faster than ever wheels, and so it should at least be fast in that regard. But even though the wheels are going to spin more freely, less friction, and it should be fast, this is a metal body on a plastic base. It also has it looks like the hood comes up, like it comes up in a reverse way. Let's see. Is that the case? It looks like it. It's got that little break right there. But no, there's no hinge. So that's interesting. So the hood doesn't open. It's got that's a pretty big gap for a Hot Wheels car to have. And this thing doesn't. I'm pulling on it and trying to see if it. No, there's no hinge, so it doesn't come off. That I can tell. If it does come off, I don't know. But anyway, that's an interesting kind of detail. But other than that, we have this one. So let's go ahead and throw it into the wind tunnel. The GNX, switch over here, and this one, make sure it's lined up right. Move it over just a bit. Oh, all right. It pulls apart. It pulls apart on this Hot Wheels version. It detaches. You're saying this one detaches? I mean, if it does, then I have to give it a little more force than what I was giving it, because it didn't seem to be. I mean, if it does come off, it doesn't come off easily. But I would imagine that it does, because I don't think I've seen a car with that big of a gap, like a panel gap. It's like a Tesla almost, with the huge panel gaps. But usually the Hot Wheels cars don't have that unless there's some reason, something's gonna move or open up. But I don't see any hinges on the bottom. All right, pushing this up to. Well, maybe I'll have to give it a little more force. But either way, if this is the car that you pick, you wouldn't want to pick it without the hood in place. So as we look at it now, we see that air is hitting right at the grill and the bumper, coming up over the top, and pretty standard kind of traditional airflow situation as the air gets to the roof line and then tails off, and pushing this up to 134 miles per hour, and going up to 147. And it's definitely not bad. This is pretty much what we would kind of expect from a traditionally styled, real world car. That air follows along the roof line, and then right at that point it just kind of breaks off and dips down. But we have seen cars where there's been a lot more turbulence in this area where that separation occurs than this, so that's actually not too bad. And pushing it up to 161 miles per hour. is actually pretty good. Pretty good. Better than I would have expected. I know that this car has raced before. I don't remember how it performed, but it did race before. So that is one car that Christopher is considering. The other one, extremely unique as far as picks go, because it's one that I wouldn't have expected. It is a car that escaped to the Los Angeles Underground, and if you're in a race and you need a car and no other car can help, maybe you can hire the A-Team. And we've got this A-Team van right here, and I forget what it's actually. So Hot Wheels has it listed as the 8384 GMC panel van. I believe that the one that they used in the shows, like the Van Dura, and it's there you go. But it's obviously a van, but it's also obviously going to be aerodynamically compromised. I remember when we first ran this, we ran this one. This is the Hot Wheels version against I think it's Ertl made the other one that I have, and it is, I forget which one. I think this one came out on top. The Ertl one was pretty light, and it had, actually I think I have it here. I do. This is the Ertl version that I had back in the days when I was a kid, and this is the A-Team van, and I like the Hot Wheels take on it better, but at the time Hot Wheels didn't have the license to make these. It was this company. I think it's Ertl. Yep, it is from 1983, Stephen J. Cannell Productions. So I like the styling of the Hot Wheels version better. This was probably at least a year ago, A-Team versus A-Team van, but this is the one that Christopher is considering. So let's go ahead and take a look at it in the wind tunnel and see. I guess the only question with this is to see whether or not it has a better aerodynamic profile than the ID Buzz, which I would probably go with the ID Buzz if I had to take a guess. So let's go ahead and fire this up, and here we go. And it is, at 67 miles per hour, what we would expect. We're seeing a lot of air building up in the front, and then it has to make its way to the top. Pushing this up to 121 miles per hour. And yeah, I mean, it is a van, and so among vans, it might. Well, I don't think it would beat the Buzz Bomb, but there are some vans in the fleet, in the collection, that it could possibly beat. But if I had to pick one, there's one. It's a van that I had, another van that I had when I was a kid, and it is all metal and it is heavy. And it's a old school, it's all silver, and I don't know. This could probably beat that, but as far as cars on the track, this is not gonna have an easy task. trying to beat any of those. So we are seeing pretty much what we typically see when we put vans and buses and larger vehicles into the wind tunnel, which is the air builds up in the front, and then as it moves over, under, and around, in particular now we're looking at the over, just kind of goes along that roof and until it passes off the back. But I think that if this is going up against the car is gonna have it every time. But if this is going up against some other vans, then it's got a shot. It's got a shot, but we will see. But it's actually when I was looking at the Ertl van, and when I was looking into the in the case, I saw two other vans. One, there was a line of cars, I believe these were made by Kenner, called Fast Ones, and the sort of gimmick with these was that all the cars had license plates from different states, and this one is from New Mexico, and this is interesting. And I think I have or had a few of these cars, but not, I don't know if I still have them, but it wasn't a line that really caught on in any kind of meaningful way. So I wouldn't be surprised. You could probably find them on eBay, but they, full sets. But I guess I don't know if people are into these or not. But anyway, Fast Ones, that was one of the vans. Then I had this other van and this is the thing. I mentioned how they didn't have an A-Team van. Well, they had the one that Ertl made, but until I could get that find that in the store, my parents got it for me. I just took a black marker and took it to whatever this van used to be and just colored it, because I colored it black because I was trying to go for the I was trying to make my own version of an A-Team van, and I needed a black van. So I had a van in my collection. I had a magic marker, and this is the result. And I don't know, I have no idea what this used to look like, and we can't race it because this is one that I played with a lot, and you can just see how badly the wheels are just really worn out. The axles are bent. The wheels barely even spin. Look at that. I mean, that back wheel is just hanging on by a thread. And so can't really do anything with this. This is just in my collection. It's just one of the cars that I had when I was a kid. Engine, the hood pops. Check out the engine. But I don't really remember what this looked like before I took the marker to it. I suppose, I don't even know if this many years later, if I could take some either nail polish remover or some other kind of paint remover. But I'm afraid that if I did that, I would also take off, I would not just take off the magic marker, I'd take off whatever the graphic was underneath there. So this one will probably just remain a mystery. Remain a mystery. I don't know. Although I suppose I could kind of look it up. Find the car. It's got the circular windows on the side. It's got a little square right up on the top. The hood opens up, but beyond that, is there a year even listed on this thing? Yeah, 1977 is the year that's listed. So I guess there's enough information that I could probably look it up and see what the original looked like. But yeah, that's just another van. I have a collection of older Hot Wheels cars that I played with that I cannot run on the track anymore, but I still keep them around. All right, this one, the Turbolence. This is one that Roughshod is considering. I don't think I've seen this car race on the track. And this is pretty cool. I like, it's got a kind of speed racer Mach 5 bit of a vibe to it, and I definitely like that. Okay, Christopher's going with the A-Team van. Okay, that's a bold choice. We'll see how that works out. This one definitely gives me Mach Speeder or Mach 5. Is it no, the Mach Speeder is the car that we have. The Mach 5 is the speed racer car. Mach 5 vibes. So let's go ahead and check it out in the wind tunnel. Flip over here, drop it in, and see what we get. This thing is lined up. It is ready to go. It is the, here we go. There's another van called the 95 Ram van. I might have it, but if it has off-road wheels, then I have it in a box with these trucks that I don't think would fit in the launcher. All right, so with this one, this is interesting because there's not, I mean, we're putting it in the wind tunnel, but there really isn't much that we would expect to see because there's nothing sticking up on this car, no windshield to really disrupt the airflow until we get to the back part of the driver's compartment, and even that isn't really disrupting the airflow all that much. So we're up to 134 miles per hour with the Turbolence. And this car, if you just kind of look at it generally speaking, it does have a I was gonna say it's kind of working on a bit of a teardrop situation, just because it tails off here at the back, but the top isn't really big enough to accomplish that. If it didn't have this front nose piece and it just went from here straight down, then I could see a little bit of a teardrop situation happening. But with this one, there's not a lot of there's nothing to disrupt that airflow. Not really. It doesn't really start to get wobbly until we get to this back area here, and that is, I mean, some of these cars, especially the fantasy cars, you don't always get a good sense about them by looking at them in the wind tunnel. Sometimes you really have to just see them on the track and see what can happen. And now, that one's the Turbolence. And the other car that Roughshod is considering is this one, the Turbo Sublime. Now, the Turbo Sublime's interesting because I don't remember seeing this one race. It has raced. So has both of these have raced because of the numbers they are. One's 509 and the other one is 698. So that means that they've definitely raced before. I don't remember how they did. So they could possibly be in line for a revival. We've had cars that have already raced that have come back and done better. It really depends on just the matchups. And the Turbo Sublime is interesting because of the shape. So Roughshod's definitely got a theme kind of working with the picks he's considering. But the Turbo Sublime is a car that we broke up, and we took one of these and carved it up to make a base for the Hot Wheels camera. And this is the Turbo Sublime. This is it is plastic on metal. So all that white and orange, that is all plastic, and then the blue base is metal. And I think we're going to see kind of what we just saw with the other one. Yeah, there are definitely openings underneath this car. So under that driver's compartment. But this that we're seeing right there is pretty perfect. We're at 121 miles per hour. And what we're seeing is that air come right up over that top, not detach really from the body. It does, the actual body kind of dips down a bit, but the air is still flowing right across there off the back. I think with this one, before we go faster, I'm gonna slow it down. I'm gonna lift it up because as Christopher mentioned, and as we can see, there are openings on this car right on the side that also connect to the front. So when we raise this car up, we will be able to see. So if you can see right there, there are openings right there at the front, and that they pass through right there, because you can see right there, see my finger all the way through, and even to the back. So I know that when we broke this car apart and opened it up, there are two posts that sit right in the there in the car. The Turbolence is, where is it? It's right here. Turbolence is metal on metal. Or wait, is that plastic? No, the Turbolence is metal on metal. Yeah. With a little, it's got little plastic accents, which I'll show you after we get this one out. So this one, so as we push the speed up, as we push it up to 161 miles per hour, we are seeing that air is separating. It's separating from the body right here. And it's because of that driver's compartment that kind of goes up. And the thing is, when we talk about the BlitzSpeeder, the difference with the BlitzSpeeder is the driver's compartment never dips down. The BlitzSpeeder stays straight from the roof line all the way to the back of the car. So there's never an opportunity for this separation. And how much that's going to impact this car on the track, it's hard to say. But we did lift this up. When it was down lower, we were getting a different result because the airstream was hitting the car in a different way. So it's kind of interesting what we're seeing and how it changes as we adjust the height of the airstreams. But this is at 188 miles per hour. And we are seeing the air that's hitting right at the splitter come through, and I'm not really seeing a lot of... I'm not seeing that, so the air that's hitting at the splitter seems to be just diving right underneath, and then it's coming out the sides, which you can kind of see. It's a little faint, but you can kind of see the air, the bottom of the screen just coming out from beneath the driver's side door, or where that would be on a normal car. Kind of see it there. But this is the Turbo Sublime, and this is one of the cars that's going to be on the track. This one is plastic on metal. The other is metal on metal. A pretty kind of similar look and feel with those. And we are going to see which one Roughshod picks. Obviously, metal on metal. even without having weigh in it, we just know that the metal on metal cars are going to be heavier. But if it's got a great aerodynamic profile, then hey, that's not necessarily going to be a problem. But yeah, so this is all the dark gray parts are metal, and then the little silver parts are plastic, and it is sitting on a metal base. So that's what we've got. We have the Turbulence, the Turbo Sublime, we had the GNX, the Grand National, and we had that A-Team van, and Christopher is going with the van, and we will find out which car Roughshod is going with. So we are going to be here on Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific, racing cars, doing reviews. I've got to grab some cars out of storage to crack open. And in the meantime, we've also launched 24/7 Hot Wheels channel. It's just videos of Hot Wheels cars and some of that lo-fi music. It runs 24/7. The link is on our in the bio on Instagram, and you can find it in the live playlist on our YouTube channel. And it's just a cool little background thing. Just throw it on and whatever. Look up, check out the cars. All the cars, well, not all the cars in the fleet. It's only about 500 of the cars, because I made all those videos before I started doing AtTheTrack.live. So yeah, it's just a cool little thing. The ID Buzz on Saturday. A match against the van. Yeah, we might do that, but the van's gonna have to put in a decent performance because we know that ID Buzz was okay. The regular Buzz, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so he's going with the Turbulence. Roughshod's going with the Turbulence. We're gonna see that car back on the track. Thinks that the Turbo Sublime might be a little too light. It could be, because it's plastic on metal, but there's nothing on the inside. So yeah, you could be right. All right, so we'll see the Turbulence. We'll see the A-Team van. We may see a return of either the ID Buzz or the Buzz Bomb to challenge that A-Team van. I may even pull out, since we're doing that, I might as well pull out that Fast Ones, that New Mexico Fast Ones van, and we'll see what happens. Can the Fast Ones make a comeback? I'm pretty sure I have a couple of other ones, but after this, I'm gonna go look up on eBay and see what the full sets look like. But there we go. So all right, I am Coach James for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, for AtTheTrack.live, for All About Aerodynamics, and for the 24/7 Hot Wheels Lo-Fi Chill channel, apparently. For all of those, I will see you at the races.